Hey there, and welcome. Today, we are going to break down the incredible science of how our bodies manage pressure. And we'll look at a few key supplements that are being studied for how they might lend a helping hand. So, let's get right into it.
I mean, who doesn't, right? That feeling you get before a big test or when you're stuck in traffic, we all know what it's like to feel squeezed. Well, guess what? Your body can feel that pressure too, just in a much more literal way.
I want you to picture your circulatory system, all your veins and arteries, as this massive, incredible network of superhighways. They're working 24/7, delivering all the important stuff your body needs to thrive. But what happens when those superhighways get a little too crowded? And that brings us right to our first stop, the pressure problem. Because when things get crowded, you start to get these system-wide traffic jams, and that can cause some real issues.
Think about a real traffic jam. It's a total nightmare, right? Everything grinds to a halt, tempers flare, and you can just feel the pressure building. Well, high blood pressure is basically that same scenario, but it's happening inside your body's highways, putting a ton of strain on the whole system.
So here's what it all boils down to. On one hand, you've got the squeeze. This is called vasoconstriction. It's like someone stepping on a garden hose. The space gets tiny and the water pressure shoots way up. But on the other hand, you've got the relaxation or vasodilation. That's when the hose is wide open, everything flows easily, and the pressure goes right back down. Keeping a healthy balance between these two is absolutely critical.
Okay, so if that pressure is the problem, who are the potential helpers on the scene? Well, let's meet the support squad, a team of 3 compounds that are being studied for how they might help our bodies keep that traffic flowing nicely.
So let's meet our team. First up, we've got Quercetin, and we're going to call it the Guardian. Then there's Resveratrol, aka the Flowmaster. And rounding out the team is Taurine, the Zen Master. Each one has its own special superpower that's been studied for keeping those highways in top shape.
All right, so first up, let's dig into how this squad is thought to work right on the pavement of the highways themselves. You know, keeping the lanes wide open so everyone can cruise along. Now this is really cool. Your body has this incredible signaling system to tell the blood vessels to relax. It starts when a helper molecule gives a little nudge to a special enzyme. That enzyme then makes something called nitric oxide. You can just think of nitric oxide as the ultimate chill-out text message. It gets sent to the muscle walls of the highway, they get the message, they relax, and poof, the road opens up.
And get this, supporting that chill-out signal is a shared superpower. Yep, all 3 members of our squad, Quercetin, Resveratrol, and Taurine, have been studied for their ability to help the body produce more of that super important nitric oxide. It's like their main strategy for keeping the peace on the highways.
But they've got more tricks up their sleeves. Quercetin and Taurine are also studied for how they help manage calcium. Think of them like bouncers at a super exclusive club. They stand at the door of the muscle cells and make sure not too much calcium rushes in at once, which helps keep those muscles from getting all hyped up and squeezing too tight.
This is where Quercetin really earns that nickname, the Guardian. Our bodies are always dealing with something called oxidative stress. A really simple way to think about it is like cellular rust. It can damage the delicate lining of our superhighways. Quercetin is a well-studied antioxidant, acting kind of like a rust-proof coating that helps protect that lining.
So what about our Flowmaster Resveratrol? Well, research suggests that it may work by getting in the way of other signals in the body that are telling the vessels to tighten up. By basically running interference on those squeeze signals, it helps, keep the flow going.
Okay, so we've talked about what's happening down on the road itself. But what about the folks up in the main traffic control center? Now we're going to look at how these compounds are studied for their role in balancing the body's bigger regulatory systems.
So this main control center has a pretty fancy name, the renin-angiotensin system. Don't worry about the name. Just think of it as the body's master system for managing salt, water, and pressure. And studies suggest that both Quercetin and Taurine might help keep this control center from overreacting and jacking up the pressure unnecessarily.
And this right here, this is where Taurine completely lives up to its Zen Master nickname. See, our nervous system has 2 main modes. There's the sympathetic system, that's our fight or flight stress mode that cranks pressure up. And then there's the parasympathetic system, our rest and digest calm mode. Taurine is studied for its ability to help gently guide the body's controls more towards that chill, rest and digest state.
In our Guardian, Quercetin, it's kind of an overachiever. On top of its main job, it's also studied for how it supports other teams in the body, like the inflammation road crew and even the gut's supply chain. It seems to get that to keep the highways in great shape, you got to support the whole city.
Okay, we've had a lot of fun with the analogies, but now it is time for some very serious, real talk. It is absolutely essential that we're all on the same page about what this all means and what it doesn't mean.
I'm going to read this next part word for word, just so it's perfectly clear. Important. None of these are FDA-approved treatments for blood pressure elevation. Let me say that again. These are not medicines. They are not intended to treat, to cure, or to prevent any disease.
So what's the bottom line for you? It's simple. Your number one, undisputed, absolute best ally for any health question is a qualified healthcare professional. Before you even think about trying a new supplement, that conversation has to start with your doctor, period.
So as we wrap this up, let's put the supplements aside for a second and bring it right back home to you. I just want to leave you with a question to chew on. What's one small positive choice you can make today to support your own amazing superhighways? Maybe it's a short walk, an extra glass of water, or just taking 3 deep breaths. Thanks so much for tuning in.